Hey guys, I'm going to show you how to make this mini ombre cake, which is perfect for Valentine's Day, especially if you cut it in a heart shape and you make it pink. So I hope you guys like this video and that you try it. We're going to start with making our favorite white cake. So whichever white cake recipe that you want to do, that's the one you can make. I am using an almond vanilla white cake. As you can see, it has lots of different ingredients, but you can use whichever one you like the best. Obviously, if you have a yellow cake recipe that you like, that works as well. Just the color of the palest ombre color may not look as white as you wanted it, but anything is fine. So when you have all your ingredients, mix it up according to the recipe, and then we are going to prep 4 pans because I'm going to have 4 colors of my ombre according to the recipe. So I am oiling it and then dusting it with some flour. And my lightest shade is going to be white, so I am not going to add any food coloring. As you can see, the cake batter is very nice and white, so I'm just going to put about 2.5 scoops into my baking pan. Obviously, you can divide it out ahead of time beforehand. I decided not to. Now, this wasn't the very best way because when I got to the last color, there wasn't as much, but I still made it work, so it's okay. So set that one aside, and then we are going to get our red food coloring and just put in a couple drops at a time. I started with 1, and then I mixed it, then I put another one, and I mixed it. I think I ended up putting about 4 drops in it, but you can always add more color, but if the first palest pink is too dark, then you can't really go back anymore. So better to err on the easy side and just do 1 drop at a time. Once you've achieved the color that you think is best for this second to lightest color, then you are going to scoop it into the baking pan. Then add a little bit more red, or in my case a lot more red, but luckily once you mix it, it doesn't get as bright as right at the beginning. And same thing, get the color you want and then put it into your baking pan. So now we're going into our darkest color, so don't be afraid to splurge and let it go with the red food coloring. It ended up looking a little Pepto-Bismol pink, but that's alright. So this is going to be your last color. Add all of that red color that you want, and then put it into your baking tin as well. So here are all of my colors lined up, the white, pale pink, all the way to darker. Then we're going to bake it at 325 degrees Fahrenheit, according to my recipe, for 25 minutes. And then when you take them out of the oven, I let mine cool a little bit in the pan first on the cooling racks, and then I use the knife just to get the edges loose from the side, and then just slammed it upside down onto my cutting board. And we're going to cut it into the shapes that we want using a cookie cutter. So even though you see my cake did crack a little bit, I'm not going to use that part anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And then I put them on another baking rack just to completely cool. My recipe was a little bit sticky, but that's just the cake recipe that I found. It was super moist and delicious, but yeah, it was a little bit sticky. So I decided that between the layers of cake, I am going to be putting some strawberry whipped cream mousse, and then after I am going to completely cover the cake in just plain whipped cream. So I'm going to be cutting up and then mushing some strawberries, and then I'm going to put them in a saucepan with some water and sugar and cook that a little bit, let the sugar dissolve. I do have a recipe for this strawberry cream mousse on my blog, fadingdreams300.com, so I will put the link below. This was from a recipe 2 years ago, actually, and this was inside one of my chocolates that I made, but same recipe. So once that has cooled after the sugar has dissolved, I popped mine in the fridge just to make it go a little bit quicker, and in the meantime, we are going to whip the cream, the whipping cream, or heavy cream if you want to call it. And then I took a little bit of this whipping cream once it was in soft peaks, and I added it with the cooled strawberry mixture and then folded it in together, making sure it's still nice and fluffy, but we have lots of strawberry flavor and those fresh strawberries in there. So now we get to start constructing our ombre cake tower. The darkest pink was a bit thin because that was the last one, the remaining batter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use 2 of these to make up the same height as one of my other colors. So just putting a little bit of the strawberry whipped cream in the middle. Now the second time I made this, because I made a couple little cake stacks, I actually did put some like fresh sliced strawberries in between the cream as well, just to get more strawberry flavor, but it is up to you, whatever you want to do. So just construct it, putting the strawberry cream in between. Now if you are transporting this, you may need to put a little wooden dowel in the center of it. That's what I also did when I was going to be bringing it to someone else's house. But if you're just making it to eat at your house, then it's not necessary. So once you have your tower with all of your 4 beautiful colors in an ombre effect, then we are going to start putting the icing, or in my case the regular whipped cream, on the outside and making it look nice and smooth. So once it's nice and smooth, then you can use or add whatever kind of topping you want. You could put a sliced strawberry, or in my case, I'm just putting some heart sprinkles because everyone loves heart sprinkles. And then the cool thing is that this just looks like a normal kind of cake tower, but when you cut inside of it and cut it in half, that's when you get the full effect and seeing all that hard work that you put into it, that it's a really cool ombre Valentine's Day cake heart. So I hope you guys give this a try, and hopefully it works out for you too, and I hope you guys have a wonderful Valentine's Day. Bye!